Peace. Bam. Happy now, of course. You already know we're not going too far in the future. You already know we ain't going too far in the past. Right now, I want to continue speaking on the Lyran beings, matter of fact, and kind of following up a little bit of where the video started. The last video is speaking on, that connection to the Lyra beings, and if any of you've been seeing any type of lion beings in your dream, or any type of cat-like beings, that's our basically our ancient, basically ourselves in some instances, our high self, as well as ancestors and elders, from our lifetime in that area, on Lyra, so to speak. So right now we definitely dealing with that energy pretty heavy. And again, I brought up the analogy of being on Venice Beach and connecting with a lot of these beings and seeing the difference, like basically, because that's another thing too. I've been stopped seeing like a person that, like, how they present themselves in the Matrix, and I just kind of see and feel energy, like, matter of fact, like somebody say, like, when you come across somebody and you're like, man, you kind of look familiar, you seem familiar. It's more of their vibration seem familiar more than they look familiar. But back to the part where the Lyrans got into this, this situation with the reptilians and these bird-like beings, and they had to flee, and then they end up fleeing to the Pleiadians, the Orion and Andromedus area, matter of fact, in the Leo constellation area. And also on some separate information, which kind of ties into it, speaking on the Oxygen Wars or the Orion Wars, basically where it's speaking more though to the Dracos. The Dracos basically is the reptilians. Or you could see the Dracos too as possibly the reptilians and the bird people mixed together in essence. But you also see dealing with the Oxygen Wars and all this. And matter of fact, I did a video on this a while back too, I think, dealing with DNA fractals, or was the origins of, or ET origins or something like that. But I also speak on Dan Winter's work dealing with like DNA and sacred geometry and the golden mean ratio, and how that all ties in to that battle with Ankin and Lil and the different beings, as far as like timeline manipulation, all these things are concerned, And matter of fact, also dealing with the planet Nibiru again, and to break down, like you got the word which is high blood seraphim, or fallen or decayed, non-imploded DNA, Draco, Nephilim. So another thing too, and this kind of new, this one kind of, I ain't read this information in a minute, so this information, I just as much as y'all probably, so like I just got a lesson again right quick, because so the word and I'm gonna show y'all what I'm dealing with. You could kind of see it's breaking down language like Hebrew, because another thing too, Hebrew is not like no real language. You got Nibiru, and you got the, the which talks about so being a fallen angel. So the Draco energy, the Draconian energy, is that like how they spoke on the fallen angels that are kind of quote unquote evil. That's like the Draco energy, and more of the light beings would be like the Lyra beings, the ancient cat-like, lion-like beings, where you get all the lion correlations with all the ancient, spiritual gnosis or knowledge, so to speak, and that's the connection. So you see that the high blood seraphim are fallen angels, and you see the seraphim, because too, dealing with angels, I'm trying to think of that crystal, seraphonite. I think it's seraphonite, which is basically like a green crystal that connects you with angels. So in essence, indirectly, it's tied to that fallen angel energy as well. And again, non-imploding DNA, you know, the Draco's energy, their DNA couldn't implode, you know what I'm saying? And two, you start again, you see the trickle down into the racial situation, because two, that mean they bodysuit that they end up taking didn't have like the same technology as the Lyra people bodysuits, you know, that were able to deal with the sun a little better and deal with the atmosphere of Earth a little better. And that's also, well, back in the day. So now it's a spiritual warfare, and back then it was like a straight up warfare. Like they was trying to change the, you know, the oxygen levels and all that to make the like to where it could be suitable for them, you know what I'm saying? And then as above so below, look at the people, you know, how the government, these the Rothschild, how I spoke on that connection, and how they don't care about how the earth is, like polluting and this and that, you know what I'm saying? Because indirectly creating that type of environment for that type of energy to thrive, you know? So you see that connection as well. And then you see the connection of Ra, which we speak on this on so many times, on so many other terms, but just from this notes, I'm gonna speak on it. Ra is of the sun god bloodline, usually sons of Enki. So too, how I spoke on that, and this is I'm what's funny, I'm going through tablets, channeling, coming across information that's kind of new again to me all at once, like, so, you know. But so the Enki, you know, Ra, dealing with the sons of Enki. So again, seeing that Enki and Enlil battle is a personification of the, you know, the Lyra beings fighting against the reptilian beings in essence. No blessings. And you know, you see that vibe. So you got the let's see, usually the sons of gods, Enki. So the Enki is dealing with the Ra energy, and you also see Sarah or Sarah, you know what I'm saying? Also Asa, let's see, Asa, wife of Ra. But you see, all right, I'm getting mixed in the information because I just write it down quick like that. But the Sarah, you know, dealing with Ra, and Abraham or Ra, you know what I'm saying? That's all that same energy. And again, when you break down the linguistics, you see how it all ties together. But you gotta, you know, you gotta do the research. And again, that goes into how I speak on how some people deal with the, negligent research, you know, as far as like you know, not going deeper when there is, you know, more to know and more information out there. And again, you also see how even the word aura, matter of fact, so aura is like AU dealing with gold, and then Ra, you know, the sun, aura, and then gold deals with the sun energy. You know, gold embodies that sun energy. That's why the ancient Egyptians and all these people dealt with gold like this, and gold deals with that solar, that Leo energy, you know. So that's all tying together. Also, let's see, because let's see, gold is a phase conjugate dielectric, so it also is something that's great for charge distribution, and great for the fractal field as well. So you start to see why wearing gold, you know, why we get that as above so below. This is all trickling down from some ancient battles, you know what I'm saying? And here we are embodying it in the physical form, thinking we're just humans, but nah, we are these beings embodied in the physical, dealing with the same situation, just a different day. And speaking to, again, how we feeling like we're on the front line of a war out here in Venice, you know, dealing with our spiritual energy, you know, because we fighting against, in essence, those same reptilians is in Hollywood and all this, creating, again, these lower vibration environments, like the Orion Wars or the oxygen wars, you know what I'm saying, to create the environment for them to thrive in, you know what I'm saying? So you start to see those correlations. And again, you start to see the got different little correlations. Shem, like raising a Shem is like an altar, and Shem also would break down into Kim, you know, the black dot, kind of like also dealing with the melanin. Again, how I spoke on the astronaut suits, you know what I'm saying? Like, these bodies are astronaut suits, you know, it's not no, you know, like you, yeah, it trickles down from being like a vibration of a quote unquote type of being, but you know, this is more so a bodysuit as well, and that also has to deal with, again, how they spoke on how the draconian people couldn't really deal with this environment. You know, they deal with methane and more of a gas like environment. And you're also trying to get to the information that ties because you also get the Enki, so dealing with Enki, and you say Enki dealing with Ra. Enki deals with the Atum priest. Then you also have in Lil. Appreciate you, brother. Blessings.
I just want to thank you for, I want to take your space. You connected with the world and the earth.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me in your space last night, brother.
Yes, bless.
I texted you some good wishes.
Gotcha.
Keep on. I was just at the store, thought of you, and I love you, man.
Yes, bless, bro.
Bless you, brother.
Yes, thank you.
This beautiful day. Bro, your circle. I mean, it's you.
Bless, my brother. Thank you.
Can I take a quick photo, shoot it to you, or no?
Oh, well, I'm doing a video. I'm in the middle of a video right now.
No. Hit me, brother.
Cool, I will, my brother. Bless. Matter of fact, going with the flow of things. Matter of fact, the light blessing while I'm doing this video. Hey, it's my Earth Day. Like Prince Hakeem, you know what I'm saying? Gifts on the solar return. Oh, solar return, because also dealing with when our birthday, when is our birthdays considered, is where the sun is in our constellation. The sun, Ra, Leo, all ties together, And matter of fact, and I was just about to tie a few more things in and cut it short. Just tying in again from the Lyra situation, where they were like some of the first beings, and dealt with genetics and peaceful, smart, creative beings. But then here come the reptilian and the bird-like beings, the draconian empire, and messing things up, causing them to flee to the Orion's belt, basically, and that's where you get the Palladian. That's why a lot of people feel close to Palladians, because they feel close to that extension of the Lyrans, and then from there, from Orion, and then when you look at Orion's belt in the sky, it connects, not far from it, which I don't know, from the way I'm looking, that's how it looks, but you'll see Orion, and then when the angle into Orion's belt is also the three wise men that visited Mary, when the son was born, the son of God was born, but Orion's belt kind of in essence points to Sirius, and you'll see Sirius is one of the brightest stars, and also lately you'd be seeing Sirius shimmering very brightly. You even wonder if it's like an airplane moving, how much it kind of flickers in essence. But those beings fled to these places, and how this battle, basically kind of keeping that distance, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, again, and you see us as indigos and light beings, because again, we are that extension of the Lyra beings, a lot of us. That's why, so if we're old souls, the older your soul is, the more you're connected to the Lyra beings. And the younger your soul is, which is layers to that. The younger your soul is, though, the more your soul may be, your being may be a little bit mixed. And we all soul travel, because me personally, even though I'm an old soul, I feel like I've been through, all these, because we reincarnated beings. So, of course, I done had a body that embodied, like even right now, I got a reptilian part of my brain, So, I'm tied to all the energies even now, in essence, but it's just more of my body, this body, that's what the beauty of the creation and all this, where all the beings, put together on this body, but their energies are kind of like, combating in essence, and again, back to the Enki and Lil's story, and and the significance of how, like, Akhenaten is basically like Moses in essence, but at one time you couldn't say Akhenaten, so you had to use the word Moses. So you see all these little things tying together. The Enki, dealing with Enki, dealt with Ra, and the Enki priest dealt with the Enki put like this, the people dealing with Enki are the Atun priests. The Atun priest bliss came from the Akasha Soma, so they dealt with the Akashic records, the Soma, the etheric realms, and more of a meditative type of vibe, as the people dealing with Enlil, the Amun priests, they were kind of like dealing with the mushrooms, and they used that for the spiritual bliss, and you see how that trickles down even now, and dealing with the mushrooms. Adventure Time, the cartoon, kind of deals with where it's like post-apocalyptic after the mushroom wars or whatever. So you see how all that ties in, all these little stories and fairy tales, indirectly telling these stories. Oh, I forgot, like Thundercats, the cartoon Thundercats. You know what I'm saying? Like Leonus and Linus and all these different beings, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's us. Like, we are these cat beings, most of us, because that's the thing too. As I'm speaking to those who it may concern, because again, some of you may be the mixture of the Palladian, Orion, or Andromedus mixture. Some of us may be the Sirius mixture. Some of us is a mixture from the trickle down from the Lyrans on down, but that's the thing, some of us come from the Lyra beginnings. Some of us our soul started where the Lyrans picked up at the Palladian existence, and some of them started with a Sirius existence from the Lyras. It's all trickling down, and as above so below. That's how we manifest on the physical level, and how I spoke on the eldest souls get the bodysuit. So too, the reptilian draconian empire, you know what I'm saying, they kind of, in essence too, they bodysuits, how can I say, they didn't get the pick of the litter with the bodysuit, so it was a beef behind that in essence as well, and that's all this. And two, channel information. A lot of this stuff I'm talking about, you're not about to go find no book or no other video that kind of speaks on it the way I'm talking about it, and that's the importance of channeling, and just kind of allowing to be brave about letting information flow through you. You know what I'm saying? Because I could have been scared and like, nobody actually per se talked about these things, like, but it's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Two, I see the information correlating to so much anyway, so it's like, why not speak on these things. And even down to breaking down the word Jeru Asa LM, Jerusalem. Let's see. You see that. And also this speaking on like the Hebrew letters and how you change the way you look at them, and they create different energies. But it's also too the Ophanic letters. As a matter of fact, the Ophanic and Seraphim, so the Seraphim letters dealing with John D and the alchemy and talking to angels, or the fallen angels, is the draconian Seraphim energy, you know what I'm saying, or like those archangels. So also, you could see the dealing with the archangels or the fallen angels. The Seraphim is dealing with draconian beings, but it also, I get the vibe that those are the draconian beings that again, where I say like they're not malicious, Yeah, they may, because of just their chemical makeup, they're a little, they're reptilian, so they, cold-blooded in essence, but still tries to embody, that quote-unquote positive essence, that high vibrational essence, and two, that may be why they consider falling, because they could be consider falling because they're falling from their own people, from that darkness of the, the malicious draconian people, and they kind of, fell from that, but more into a light place, but the linguistics get twisted, because if you're telling it from, if I'm the evil person, I'm like, oh yeah, they fell, you know what I'm saying, they ain't with us no more, and making them sound bad, when in essence they fell because they were good, and they fell away from, from the evil, but there's so many ways to look at it, and again, as I'm presenting this information, I hadn't did this in a long time, but I always remember, you don't have to believe in this information or none, but which I ain't gonna lie, at this point, only the people who aren't deep into it, will be super skeptical. But again, though, you don't have to believe me. You don't, do your own research, and allowing for your own channels to kick in or whatever the case may be. But you know, all that energy definitely ties in together with the Jehudi, Thoth, the Hermes, David, down to King Solomon, down to Haile Selassie, you know what I'm saying? And you see that, you know what I'm saying? Again, back to the Rastafari situation. And again, I tell people, I kind of clown where I'm like, I don't deal with the religions and who right or who wrong, but I've been thinking about it lately, like, bruh, it's kind of surreal how much Rastafari did have so much right about the way it governs itself, on a spiritual level, dealing with how close it is to the lion and the dreadlocks and the Leo constellation, and that Lyra energy, you know what I'm saying, embodied so deeply into everything it did, being one of the first civilizations, dealing with matter of fact, even on their flag has the lion of Judah, the 12 tribes of Israel, all that energy going into it, start to see, and how that Christ energy is embodied in Rastafari as well as Haile Selassie, and even the energy of Ethiopia, because the situation of how when Mussolini and Italy was moving in on Ethiopia, and Haile Selassie reached out to the UN and was like, man, could y'all help us? And they kind of turned a cold shoulder, and Haile Selassie had that famous that quote, that speech where he was like, the match shall be struck in Ethiopia, but the fire shall burn throughout something with the situation, and history shall be your judge, you know what I'm saying? And you could see that, like, Haile Selassie dealing with the UN is almost like a crucifixion, like he stood before that draconian dark energy, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, are those Romans, in the story of Jesus, you know what I'm saying, that was turned historical, from past other stories of Mithra, the lion being who was born of a virgin, so you see all this tied together, and Mithra is where a lot of the Greek stuff, Greek people dealt with the Mithra stories, and down to Rome as well, but start to see all these correlations, but that's basically it. I don't want to overload on the information, because I honestly feel like I could extend this longer. And with dealing with my phone, I can't do the videos as long, so I kind of keep having these segues. And then too, which I didn't really have the interruption, but with somebody coming through, I take it as a sign too, to just, but that's the whole situation, dealing with the DNA, and again with the the energy, the or the word, the terminology dealing with the decayed or the fallen, the non-imploded DNA. So you see what the Dracos or the reptilian beef is, and seeing how they energy had spoke on how they dealt with the methane, breathing the methane that deals with phosphorus, and the red and white color of the phosphorus also trickle down into where you get the red shield or the Rothschild family, and those beings, again, trying to carry out, again, they work for those beings because they're trying to make the conditions of Earth favorable to those beings being able to come down, in essence, and have more control over this earthly plane. But the Thundercats are here to save the day. So again, if you're really feeling that energy, embrace it and look more into it. Like, say for instance, reason why I kind of for one, I don't see nobody doing videos about the Lyra beings, except for older videos, and then most of those type of videos where it's the person with the little robot voice. Y'all know the little videos, like some people don't want to, and not to knock, you know what I'm saying, but the videos where people kind of be speaking with the little Microsoft, like typing, and the computer speak for them type of thing. But I started looking into information about Lyra beings and stuff of this nature, and kind of came up with some of this information that I brought today, in which I got information from a bunch of different videos in different places. Also from the again from the book I had at one time dealing with the what it's called again. So I don't The Secret Places of the Line. Matter of fact, definitely get that book, and that gets into that information as well. The book is by George Hunt Williamson, The Secret Places of the Line. And also check out Illuminati Congo video where he speaks on the Lyra people, and he breaks down the Catholic word, how I kind of got into. And then also Dan Winter work, also getting deeper into phase conjugation and plasma movement and the Dracos energy and that battle on a scientific level. He breaks it down on the science of, like, the DNA and what was going on that level, you know what I'm saying? So definitely get into that, because that's one thing I do. Like, I got videos speaking on this again, but also to get deeper into it as well, you know what I'm saying? Because this is not no egotistical thing like, oh, well, no, I'm gonna present the information. I don't want them to go nobody else, just watch my videos so I could get the views and Nah, this is everybody's information in essence, so I want you to find, where is it, like, to learn like me, because I always express to y'all, I'm always learning myself. So I want you, let y'all know the places where I've been going and getting a lot of information as well. So, peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate. We're not going too far in the future. We're not going too far in the past. Right now.